Hey, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper, and one of today's journals is this beautiful 1907 book. It's actually called The Crusoes of the Frozen North. It's a beautiful cover. It's got this girl and boy riding their horses through the countryside. It's got a lovely spine with the birds here, and then it's all intact. I did cover up the title here with just a little tiny bit of lace, but you can still find the title in the original first pages inside here. I've hinged this page because it was so brittle because it's so old and ready to crack basically. So I hope that keeps it safe for a bit. Here's a vintage botanical page, and before I put this on Etsy at hyperstamper.etsy.com, just to note again that everything in my shop has free shipping in North America, which is a big deal. It'll save you quite a bit of money, and everything I use is authentic, antique, and vintage ephemera. I don't use anything commercial photocopied. It's all original, which is really cool. And if you can see here, there's the embossing from the paper of an antique book that was inside the spine. That's from an old magazine. This is from the 1920s, Things to Make and Do. I just am really having fun with this book, the pages from this book. They're so cool. Just another vintage children's book page here. That's actually from the Bobbsey twins. Another children's book page here. A 1955 Polish embroidery book, and I absolutely love this photograph. It's stunning. It's just stunning. And then look at this piece of handmade lace that they've got here. Another 1930s children's book page there. And oh, remember these? What were these called? Not spirographs. I'm gonna look it up. That's gonna bug me now. But really cool thing that they would make. And because we have horses on the front, I pulled this out of my antique photo album, and little girl riding a pony, and that's from the 30s. Is that cool? And then this is also from a 1940s, this page here. Kids making some crafts, and vintage stamp cluster. And this is from a vintage art book. It's a plate. Isn't that gorgeous? You could put that in a frame. It's so pretty. My little signature thing that I do is these little hidden tuck spots. And here is a beautiful early 1900s postcard from a church in England. Isn't that wonderful? I love it. So I love my antique postcard collection. And this is actually Abraham Lincoln. This is another plate from a vintage art book. It's beautifully discolored on the back from its age, but it's in really, really great condition. I love it. And this is a vintage dictionary page here. Look at the old bonnet, a bonnet. And this is from a quill and ink page here. This is research done by a student, which I love. And San Antonio. This is 1955 American Highways Road Map book. Is that fun? And then on the other side, sorry, my little thing there is getting in the way. More of that beautiful color Roswell. Hey, isn't that where the aliens are from? Okay, maybe not. 1930s ledger page here on committee attendance. And then I made this out of an antique book page, just what I'm calling a window pane pocket. I don't know what others call it. And this is a 1940 French almanac page from July 4th. That's my son's birthday, one of them. And yeah, just really fun almanac page there. A lot of satire during the World War. Atlanta, Georgia over here. This is a history page from the early 1900s. And then I put this beautiful piece of crochet down here, and I turned this 1920s children's book page. I love that burnt almost mark up there. And I put some antique paper on the back so that you could journal on it. This here is a little tag I made out of a 1940s magazine page and some antique paper. And the pocket's made out of huckleberry thin book. Very old, very brittle, but works for this. And then this is a 1930s Monopoly piece. Look at it. It doesn't have anything on it, just chance to take a walk on the boardwalk. That's how old it is. I haven't even come up with the graphics yet. I love it. Another children's book page here, vintage recipe page, vintage botanical book page, vintage children's school book page. And look at this really cool thing here from the First National Bank. September 2nd, 1916. And then on the back, it's got these wonderful stamps, canceled. I love it. Los Angeles, California. And then it's been signed over twice to different parties. 1950 receipt, a little journaling tag here, and the pocket's made out of a 1930s children's book page. It's another vintage cookbook page here, and this is from the 1920s art education book. Look at that plate. I was going to keep it for my Easter book, but I have so much rabbit ephemera for that. Yeah, so I thought this lived here. And then look at this beautiful page here, how to draw a teapot and a cup. I love it. This is some vintage upholstery fabric, and I put some antique paper underneath it for a hidden journaling spot. Blank recipe book page, just some really fun ephemera up there. Vintage botanicals, vintage recipe, another 1930s. Look at her outfit, it's fantastic. Look at the little kitty cat. Little pocket there, and this is the original page from this book. Elsie Bongard owned that, so I wanted that to live here forever. A tribute to Elsie. This is from the early 1900s, pre-1910, on wood carving and woodwork. Mr. Gobble Gobble, a Thanksgiving turkey. Books, that came out of an antique book, advertisement for books. 1940s housekeeping encyclopedia. I have never swept my couch, but maybe I should. Look at the fringe on that couch. Oh, it's just so era appropriate and fantastic. This is a 1920s children's book page here. Beautiful fuzzy cardstock. Look at that, wonderful. I was going to put that in my Christmas journal, but it ended up here. Just some really fun things to read here from that housekeeping book. More on our turkey friend here, meeting the ducks and hens on the farm, the little red hen. Lots of us have heard of that story. A fun little pocket down here with the book and the butterfly in nature. And then in here I have a vintage playing card and these two little banknotes here. I love the numbers on them. These are authentic. These aren't printed. And when you get them, you'll feel the beautiful texture on them, the raised embossing. And yeah, how fun is that? I love them. They're just so much fun. You can make lots of clusters and fun little crafts with that. And this is the original end page of the book as well. So I'm putting that on Etsy now. I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. Hyperstamper.etsy.com. Come back soon.